But I think for me, the worst thing I did, I had an S curl in middle school.
Wow.
What? Yeah, the kid.
Yeah, man, I had the S curl, the blue jar. Put it in there. Wait for it to start burning a little bit, rinse it out. But I was copying off my cousin Fred, man, so I looked up to him at the time.
Did you not learn from the street?
I looked. Apparently not.
You gotta be a role model.
Dang, man. But that I look at some well, I think I got rid of all the pictures now, but I look back on pictures of that.
What up? This is your boy Ferg, bringing to you a special podcast of Three Brothers No Sense. We are here in Mobile, Alabama, our hometown, joined with my co-hosts Buff and Razi, and we got a room full of people that are special, near and dear to our hearts. So if you hear laughing, screaming, or Razi getting slapped in the back of the head during the podcast, you'll know why.
I hope that happens too.
It's probably gonna happen. So fellas, tell them what's on your mind.
Well, I learned I don't know how to pack anymore, man. When Tab and I went to LA, dude, we made like 4 trips to Target. I was like, damn, I left my toothbrush. So we walked to Target, came back. Damn, I ain't bring my charger. Had to go back. I wanted to go to the gym. I ain't bring my running shoe. Man, we literally, at one point she said, I'm not going back with you. You go ahead. And then this trip, I thought I had left my toothbrush, deodorant, and all that stuff. So we went to Walmart, got it. Guess what I found today? My toothbrush and deodorant. But I left my shoes that I wanted to wear to the club tomorrow. So I just have figured out I don't know how to pack no more, man. So I'm just always going to be forgetting.
You know you can do a packing list, right?
I'm not doing those. Go ahead, Razi.
but they help. Checklist.
Can you go ahead, Razi?
Well, go ahead. We know what you're about to start with.
Yeah. I just want to start by apologizing to my wife.
Like a 4th episode.
We interrupt our regular scheduled program to let you guys know that there was a whole lot of discussion between now and when we resume. And Orazio's apology was so bad, we had to cut it out. That's how bad it was, guys. So now we'll return you back to our regularly scheduled program. I'm sorry, baby.
Jen here is drinking. So
we are in the great city of Mobile. So I want to start with thanking Heart's Chicken for supplying this nutritious and delicious meal that we're partaking in.
You'll love our chicken.
Yeah, it says you'll love our chicken. So this is the first time I've had Heart's in probably, what year is it? Probably 12 to 15 years. It's spicy.
Robert Johnson is the president.
Robert Johnson who?
The BET Robert Johnson?
Nah.
Bob Johnson?
Right,
it says Robert Johnson president.
Y'all, you know how many Robert Johnsons are in the world? We probably graduated with a Robert Johnson.
I'm Googling that after this show.
But I'm just glad to be here, glad to have everybody around, and looking forward to this weekend. We've been hanging out, kicking it, and the party's really just beginning. So if you hear background noise, once again, that's our family, our loved ones.
We're being recorded by a live studio audience.
Oh, yeah. I think that's a disclaimer or something like that. Was only supposed to say that?
I don't know.
We ain't no applause sign or nothing for that.
Nothing.
I can edit that in. Don't worry about that.
Are you serious?
And I'm not editing that out.
Yeah, Razi. That was disgusting, Razi.
That was the heart.
That was the heart. My body's not used to this greasy deliciousness. Wow. That you may or may not hear that later. But man, let's go ahead and pay some bills. Let's do it.
Love, exciting and new. Hello, Hannah Waddingham here. Have you seen the fabulous new Sun Princess? World-class entertainment, exceptional dining, and the greatest pizza ever. It's alive.
Don't miss our Come Aboard sale with up to 40% off and free room upgrades. Visit princess.com or call your travel advisor to book. Princess Cruises. Terms and restrictions apply. Offer ends 2/28/25. Ships of Bermudan and British Registry.
We're back. Three Brothers No Sense. My favorite part of the show. We could ask some questions. We're going to change it up a little bit today. So this question is kind of open to the room since we are in the great city of Mobile, Alabama, and most of us in here grew up in the city. We had our ups and downs in Mobile. And so we're about to go to our 20-year class reunion. I look back at some of the pictures from 20 years ago, and I ain't gonna lie, we had some horrible styles in the 90s. And so my question is going back to, think about that horrible style you had. What was probably the worst style or thing you did? You were kind of like, I hope my kids never see this picture. Luckily, we know somebody did not have silver boots, so you're not in that. So we're excluding the silver boots.
That's still put that on my wife.
So yeah, but silver boots were a horrible style. It wasn't you though.
No, it was
not you.
So I don't know if this was a style or if this was just
or a fad.
A fad in while we were in LaFleur. But at one point, we had a contest to see who could be more wrinkled. I don't know if you remember that. We would like literally put our clothes under the bed, wrinkle them up and everything, and throw them on to see who could be more wrinkled. I don't know if y'all remember that or not.
That was like those geeks. It was like, oh, now we're geeks. That was like the red zone us because it was just because when we stopped, we had to wear uniforms. By senior year, it's kind of like
this was senior year, right?
No, was it senior year?
Yeah, it was
senior year. Okay,
last month or two. By the end of the year, we kind of like, man,
y'all was pretty. I don't think it was the style. It was more or less y'all was trying to see who cared the less.
Yeah,
about how they look because they was done with school and checked out.
Yeah, and so that was a fad that kind of came through. Oh, and now y'all are introduced to Mobile. Y'all hear them beats in the background, just beating down the block.
Okay, how old I get? I still want a 75 Chevy Caprice with 15. Still want that, bro.
Well, I'm going to mine then. I remember Larry Johnson, circa 1994, 95, and he had that part down the middle.
Yeah.
Man, I thought that was the loudest thing in the world. But my barber, I think, was either like cross-eyed or something, and I could never get my part right. So it was always crooked just a little bit. And so, like, we tried different things. We would try to, like, give me a piece of chalk and throw a jar in there, or, take my finger to try to never. And that was horrible, man. I look back on that as like, baby, would you have dated me with that little part in my head?
Probably not.
Thank you. You didn't even think about it for a second.
I mean, these are 90s babies, ain't it?
So this question reminds you. This question reminds you of the stress of being black. Because I don't think white people really follow fashion trends and stuff like we do they?
Yeah, they do.
They do. It's just they have different trends. Like
khaki shorts and both shoes for 2 decades, man.
The 90s, they had the grunge style and the goth and all that stuff. We had the goth kids at the...
I don't know what white people did.
That's Sherman. You just heard that. It's a lot of bad things we did back in the day. Rat tails, that was awful. But I think for me, the worst thing I did, I had an S-curl in middle school.
Wow.
What? Yeah, the kick.
Yeah, man, I had the S-curl. The blue jar, put it in there, wait for it to start burning a little bit, rinse it out. But I was copying off my cousin Fred, man, so I looked up to him at the time.
Did you not learn from the street?
I looked. Apparently not.
You gotta get role model.
Dang, man. But that I look at some well, I think I got rid of all the pictures now, but I look back on pictures and I was like, man, that was pretty bad. Plus Deion Sanders had one at the time. I looked up to him, so that was it. And also, man, I look at how baggy our jeans were back then too. Like that was awful.
Yeah, and at one point, that was even before high school and everything, when crisscross came out. Did y'all ever do the backwards pants at all?
My mom let me do that shit.
I did the backwards pants one time. Yeah.
So when you had to go piss, you had to pull.
Yeah, I had to pull up my pants all the way down.
Pull your pants all the way down.
Let's not forget the starch.
Oh, starch. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Pants stay straight up.
Man, that was spend money on the cleaners.
What was the name of it? In the blue bottle?
Stay Flow. Stay Flow. Yeah, you had to have it. Yeah. So you didn't even have to spray Stay Flow. Eventually, you started getting like the concentrate. Like I had an individual spray bottle.
Freshman year,
you BSing over.
I had my khakis under the bed. I ironed them the night before. and I wanted to be crisp. I put them under the bed. It ain't work. They wrinkled as hell. I had to start back from scratch.
Yeah, your bed ain't gonna keep them straight.
That's because in high school, so when we had out of uniform day, were we showing up with the crease in the jeans?
Yeah, that was still high school.
Yeah, that was
definitely high school.
Yeah.
Out of uniform day, where you pay money to wear your own clothes to school.
But man, I like, you know what I'm saying? I like uniforms though.
There he goes.
Nah, like Cooley even talked about it back in the day on his episode. He talked about it. Like it took so much pressure off. It took pressure off me. I didn't have to think about what I was gonna wear in the morning. I got up, I put my khakis and my white shirt on, and the biggest thing was like, do I want to wear my Timbs today or do I want to wear my Bass today? Like that was really the biggest thing for what shoes.
2 pair of shoes?
Yeah, I had 2 pairs of shoes. Right? Yeah.
I was done. But we had some quiet people in the back because we had 2 fashionistas during high school.
Yes, yes, you were. Yes, you
were.
Be
quiet now.
Erica and
young Tab over here.
I was like telling them about Tab kids.
Tab's kids. Come on up to the mic, Cool. Tell them about Tab's kids.
Should I let him do this? He about to talk about my.
He been drinking. I don't know.
I know it's innocent. And
I know. I remember.
So we used to all go out together to the movies and different places and whatnot on the weekends. And I know for all of you who haven't had the pleasure of meeting Tabitha, but you know she's small, and especially in high school she was very small. You know, she was short, little petite girl. But she used to wear these Keds. And so they were very flat. And so they looked super long for her little bitty thick legs. And I remember,
still make heads?
I still remember the day we walked up because you hadn't gotten there yet. So I walked up and she was standing and me and her were the first 2 there. And the girl I was dating hadn't arrived yet. Because, you know, this is back in the day when you ain't supposed to be dating. So I'm going to the movies with Byron, and Byron's going to the movies with me, and Tab's going to the movies with another close associate of ours. And, you know, we all
together.
Yeah. And so I walk up and I'm looking, I'm like, Tabitha, what's wrong with your feet? Like, we're like, I don't know if y'all remember this cartoon, but he's like, you're like Bobby's World. Bobby's World feet.
Oh, we got to Google that picture. Bobby World, bro.
Yeah. And every time I say, you got them Bobby World shoes.
What's crazy is she actually had like a pair of Charles Barkley's and other shoes, but she chose to wear those. So.
So
it worked out.
Yeah.
And like most of the fashion styles for the guys, we other than like being baggy, it wasn't that out there.
No,
but the ladies had some crazy styles back then.
Oh yeah.
Okay, what y'all say? That French roll was dope in the 90s. I didn't have the curl on down. She was dope.
Oh man, we had the Tomobile tees, like wife beaters.
Tall tees?
Yeah, no, tall tees weren't then. It was just regular t-shirts and wife beaters.
Yeah,
we would go anywhere.
Tall tees coming down to your knees.
Yeah, but wife beaters in the 90s, you was special.
Yeah.
You had to have a crew.
I don't know what they're talking about. Like we don't wear wife beaters now.
No, but like
I actually have on a wife beater.
No, but you know, it'll be maybe that was like dudes that showed up to the skate ring, white beater. That's part of their outfit. Like you have a white beater and accessories. Young Erica.
Of course.
White beater was a thing back in the day.
Well, you know, people just got smart.
Yeah, you were the king of the white beater.
No, I mean like
50 Cent had the white beater.
Establishment owners got smart. Like if you come to the skating rink in your white beater, the club in your tennis shoes, you're a little bit more likely to get involved in some extracurricular activity. You already set. You just waiting for go.
Which Hearts did you go to? Did they have a sign on the door that said you can't have on the white beater?
I don't know. I just went to the Hearts right down the street. You went to one where?
Pritchard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the one in Pritchard. They won't let you in with a white beater. Yeah, matter of fact.
We went to the upscale.
I knew we was in the hood. We saw a pregnant dog just roaming around. I'm like, damn.
Was it a chow?
No, it's a black dog.
I've been all around the world. I've never seen a chow outside. Do they even make chows?
So, the young man, speaking of style, the young man that made fun of my bobos has just walked in.
Slim G.
What's up, man?
He ain't paying us no attention. He's looking at wives and ladies and all that stuff.
Oh, that's a shot glass.
All right, we just took a little break, man. I ain't even much gonna lie.
Cuddy interrupted everything.
Yeah, we just lost half our crowd to run.
Make a liquor run.
Even though somebody
That's how important our podcast is to them. Like, we're going to get liquor.
Yeah, it happens. But we're all of age and we drink safely and responsibly and all that good stuff.
Sometimes.
Who's up next?
It could be me, I guess.
Hold on. Did y'all comment on y'all? Because y'all were fashionistas. I don't want to go back away from that, though. Erica, I feel like you got sent home every other out of uniform day.
I never really got sent home, but I probably should have. I was a bit inappropriate.
Okay, I feel like you got sent home. We can agree to this.
Were you intentionally pushing the envelope, or that just was you?
That just is who I was. I probably was a tad bit throat and didn't know it. Because it was very hard for me to keep clothes on. It's like I was wearing like cat suits.
Yeah.
Basketball games.
Yeah, we remember.
I was expressing myself and like navigating, the world I was in.
I don't know if they can pick what she's saying. You're probably gonna get in trouble with it. So,
Larry Cooley walked out. Right?
You just sounded a little too, You want me to take it or you got it?
You got it, man. You got it.
All right, so we all have, I would assume by now, jobs that we like or love. I mentioned how I like my job. But coming up, when you're 16 and you get that first job up until now, is there any job you had that you quit, and did you quit in a disrespectful way?
Nah, I was actually a pretty good guy. I just never really...
Oh, so you gave a 2-week notice and shook the manager's hand. Thank you for the opportunity.
No. Is not showing up disrespectful?
What do you think? What do you think?
Okay. So...
Was it Dale Sales?
And? I don't think... You know what? I think my first 2-week notice... came in 2009 when I quit killing bullets. I've been working since I was 16. I think I gave it 2 weeks notice since I was 28. The L chance I think I just went to basic training.
Yeah, you just left.
I just left. When Dixie, I think I just stopped showing up. Bevo's was kind of these are my high school. Okay. Bevo's, I worked there for a minute, and I didn't even know I had a schedule. I just showed up. Like I was working like 2-3 months. But showed up, yeah, and I just, I just kind of showed up, and I think I left Winn-Dixie to go to Bevo's. I got tips and had cuter chicks there.
Listen, I was so jealous of you guys working at Dale Shells because it was like you, Hooley. Was Wendell there?
Yeah, I was there.
I said, man, that had to be
Stick
so
man.
fun.
Yeah,
man.
we had a blast.
Yeah, I was jealous of that.
Until that hurricane. Remember, we were pushing buggies in the hurricane, trying to get them back. They were like going down airport. We had to like run down airport to get them and catch them and bring them back in.
Yeah,
so
they had us out there looking. Yeah, that was cheap labor. That was slave labor.
Yeah,
because we were still on. We started off with the 3-month probationary period, so they didn't have to pay us as full time workers. I think we were making $4.50 an hour or something like that. So we didn't even make minimum wage. But that $120 we got every week definitely made our lives.
That was it. That's all you needed. We were balling with that.
Yeah.
So for me, I think. Yeah. I've never just like walked out. Oh, go ahead.
Actually, of course.
Oh, here we go.
And this is actually kind of when I quit the Army. I just quit.
I just learned this last night, by the way.
I just stopped showing up.
You did.
I was going through some things. I
didn't know you could do that.
Yeah,
You can't.
You can't. Luckily, I had been so great prior to that my unit's like, you know what? It is what it is. Do what you got to do. But I just stopped showing up. I actually didn't know my last date. I know when I actually officially left the Army. It was just kind of like, yeah, I'm kind of over this. Moved to Houston. What I was talking about last episode, I moved to Houston, kind of left things behind, and I was trying to start over new. And next thing I know, the Army was like, because I've been in the Army since 98. And this is, 12 years later in 2010. I was kind of just over all of it. And I just quit.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, but I still got to.
You should tell that story to the VA. You might be able to get some disability for that. Like that's a part of PTSD, like avoidance, and so you can probably get some type of disability for that. So talk through that part.
I am Mr. Responsibility.
Yeah. So for me, it's been hard because I've really only had 4 jobs ever. So I worked Dell Champs, I worked Office Max,
I forgot Office Max.
And then I worked a work study. And then I've been at BBVA for 19 years now. So, I've been working for that company for the same time. So definitely didn't walk out on that one. But my work study, I felt like it wasn't a real job. So it really didn't count. But I remember my work study job, I was biology pre-med. And so I was working in a lab and just doing autoclave, that type of stuff, cleaning out stuff. And they were doing research on cancer cells. And they had like this real big test that was coming up. And so they needed everything clean. Everything had to be ready to go for this test. And I was just like, yeah, see this thing called Dragon Ball Z? The series finale is coming out on Tuesday. So I'm not gonna be able to make this.
So you could have cured cancer. That's on Dragon Ball Z.
So I literally no-showed so I could watch the series finale or the season finale of Dragon Ball Z.
Was it good?
It was so good, man. It was the Cell Saga when it was so good.
For a split second, and this might have been your shortest job. I don't know how you quit when you were EMT.
Oh yeah. So that one, that wasn't disrespectful though. Like, you see, I don't even think about it. I only worked there 2 weeks. Yeah, I only worked there a couple of weeks. So, so after we got out of AIT, we were EMTs, we were medics, and so that gives you an EMTB license. So when I got back, I joined the ambulance service. Worked there, got through my in-processing and everything. I worked on the ambulance for maybe a week. And during that time, I had a little kid die on me while I was there. And so I literally was like, I'm done. I'm not coming back. And not only did I quit the job, I changed my entire major from pre-med to business. I was like, I am not dealing with that ever again. And so
then you go to war.
Then I go to war, and it actually... It's weird, but it made me find out, or made me figure out that you can, I hate to say get used to it, but you get used to it. You do kind of become numb to the situations and everything as you go. So,
Time out. That was so sweet.
That was so
well, see, the audience didn't even have to know about
it. No, they should. That was so sweet.
They're super sweet.
So they're
really.
See, but that's Razi. You should learn from that.
I should.
See, he hasn't said anything that got him in trouble.
I'm sweet. I have no filter.
He was in the middle of a story. And you had to.
And it was a heartfelt story too. Yeah, we talking about war.
But y'all just started kissing.
We didn't start kissing.
Allison's house.
It was
like he touched your leg like at least 50 times. Just feeling the seed. Like,
that's right. What's Tab's love language? Do you know? Is it touch or is it gifts? The listeners, if you don't know about the love languages, what is it? 5 love language. 5 love languages. And so. Go, Byron. What's the love language?
I don't know.
Mr. Romantic, you don't know your woman's love language?
See?
what we just did there, that kind of
What are
stuff.
the five?
Okay, so if this is off the top of my head, it's touch, time, gifts, acts of service,
Definitely time.
and
Words of affirmation.
words of affirmation. Thank you, ZZ. Got it.
Words of affirmation.
So Ferg better know ZZ's because she knows them.
Oh,
I'm gonna go with words of affirmation and time. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
She loves spending time with me, man.
Yeah. She loves spending time with you. Not you love spending time with her. Like she loves spending time with me.
It's like this. Like
It's hilarious.
I don't mind. Like I'll travel somewhere by myself if I have to. She's like, I really want you to come and all that kind of stuff. So it's definitely time. It's time.
That's understandable if that's not his love language.
Yeah.
I think mine is like affection.
He's touch.
Yeah.
Touch. Yeah. Which is why you touched her multiple times. It's like, and that's what happens a lot of times.
Erica said.
Yeah, that's what happens a lot of times is most people give their love language instead of figuring out their spouse's love language and giving their spouse's love language.
And for Erica to say that, it's crazy because we went to Michigan last year for Thanksgiving, and my aunt pointed it out. She was like, you guys are just so in love. And we was like, what are you talking about? But that's what we do all the time. And so it kind of, I don't know, it just kind of made us realize are we that gay, touchy-feely couple?
Hey. That's not politically correct for this show.
Oh, yeah, that's
20
right.
years. That's pretty dope.
Well, listen, I mean, I apologize for that. Anyway, you were in the middle of the story. Did you want to finish your story?
My story, it's fine. It's fine. I
It took a
think
dark turn, by the way.
it did, but that's what happened though. I literally walked away from a lifestyle, and everybody on the listeners might not know, but they always talk about how smart I am, blah 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 blah. But
30 on the ACT.
so I was actually MSAP, so I was already accepted into medical school going into my freshman year of college. Like that's how on track I was to be a doctor, and to walk away from all of that. That's how like mind blowing that instance was for me. And so to be able to transition and go to war and have to do it, there was all kind of anxiety. Like I was really worried about that because am I going to deal with this and everything? And so those were the hardest moments where when kids would come into the ER or into the triage section, those were really hard, man. And that is a lot of what led to the PTSD and the anxiety and everything else.
The first patient we lost was like a 2 or 3 year old girl who was a snake bite victim, and it was like really tough for one of our guys because he had just had a daughter prior to leaving, Cookie.
Cookie, yep. We call him Cookie. He's the hinkoffer.
So before I pick up, were your parents disappointed that you changed?
Oh, my dad was heartbroken. He wanted a doctor. Like, that whole immigrant thing and pushing your kids to be doctors, that is literally what it was. And so for me to walk away where I had a clear path to become a doctor, he was very disappointed, very heartbroken. And I had to explain to him what was going on and that I could make a living. Because that usually a lot of times with the immigrants, it's not necessarily that I want a doctor. It's that they want you to have a comfortable life and they want you to make money. And that's all they kind of know is those high profile jobs, doctor, lawyer, whatever. And so they push you to those. And I had to explain to him, look, I can make just as much in business. I can make a good living, really good money in business. And I had to explain all that to him. And I've done well. He finally got his doctorate in Gigi. She's in medical school now. So he is happy.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
Yeah, she did it for him because I couldn't do it.
Yeah, that medical field is tough. Like, I think that's kind of, mine was the opposite. I was scared that I was going to become desensitized.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't mind I like the adrenaline rush. I love trauma. I love what we were doing. But it was just to the point, it's like, to survive in that world, you have to become desensitized.
Yep.
And that was my biggest fear. Like, I'm not a very affectionate person, but I'm a very loving person. And I felt like I didn't want to lose that part of me. And I think when my PTSD kicked in, I remember being in Tallahassee, falling asleep watching CNN, and a helicopter had just crashed in Iraq. And you know how you fall asleep listening to something and your dream takes over where you left off? Yep. So I had this dream where like I was a medic on duty. It was like one helicopter, 2 or 3 patients. And I had my aid bag, I'm doing what I do. And I look up and it's 5 patients. Start doing what I do, 10 patients. Look up, next thing I'm surrounded and my aid bag's empty. And I was just like, I'm done. And I think that was a moment I was like, I can't do this anymore. So that was a moment I decided that I think I wanted to get out the medical field because I graduated a degree in biology and could have went to med school, but for one, I just didn't want to go back to school because that was taking too long. But to all the people in the medical field, hats off to you because that's a tough world.
Yeah,
man. You see some things, you experience some things, and I think their suicide rate and depression rate in the medical field is extremely high because you're introduced to things daily that the average person might see once or twice in their life. So
I always say I learned something about you guys, man, and that learning why you changed fields, learning now just doing the show with you guys. But that did turn awfully dark for such a light question. So
what was the question?
I mean, I want to lighten this back up. So
leave it. Have you your love?
How'd you quit McDonald's? So I asked this question because the way I quit Sam's, in my opinion, was legendary. So Sam's Club,
Did you walk out and do the
just like Costco and BJ's? So I did some wild stuff at Sam's first off, from trying to see who could kick a Gatorade bottle on top of the roof. Remember, this is like while customers are, because we worked outside in the parking lot. We would play football out there, like during work hours. My wife over here mumbling. So they fired my best friend like a month prior to me quitting. My best friend Sharif, they fired him. So the job was no longer fun. So I was kind of checked out anyway. But I wanted Fat Tuesday off. For those of you who don't know, Fat Tuesday is the big Mardi Gras day. Because we had all planned on going to New Orleans. And so they didn't give me the day off, so I just took the day off. So I didn't show up to work, even though I was on schedule to work. But we had a cooler because we was going to be drinking on our way there. And we needed a big bag of ice. Guess who has a good big bag of ice for a good price? Sam. So we went there and got ice and got beer. And it was busy as hell that day. Everybody was stressed out. The manager said, Byron, aren't you supposed to be working today? I said, oh, yeah, you're right. I pulled out my cell phone. I said, let me call in real quick. So I called in front of him. That dude wanted to swing on me.
That was disrespectful.
I said, so that pretty much let them know that I was done. I knew I couldn't come back up. So I didn't quit, but I don't know if you could say I quit or I got fired. But either way,
it was a compliment.
Yeah, I was done, man.
You won, man.
You won.
They was heated, man. So that's how I quit. That's why I asked that question, man.
Nobody else has that kind of stuff. I just stopped showing up.
But besides that, other than that, all my other jobs.
How'd you quit McDonald's? I felt like you were the Calvin of the McDonald's.
I just stopped. I got another job. I told them
Did they cry? I feel like because you were.
That's why I quit Sam's like that, because I was working Sam's and McDonald's at the same time. So I was like, I still got McDonald's. I could just tell them to put me back on full time.
So you were cheating on McDonald's for Sam's?
They knew though. I told them. Razi, can you please take over the next question?
Yeah.
Wow, you see right there.
So for my question, I wanted to finish up the love language thing though.
Okay.
Yeah, Ferg, your wife's love language. What do you remember?
So
that?
she is words of affirmation first and foremost.
Yeah, that's my main one.
Main one, and then she's just very affectionate. So physical touch. She's very loving, and which is exact opposite of me. So it's a challenge. You were going down the path saying that people usually show by doing their love language, which she definitely does. And it's a challenge for me because my love language is so different from hers that it just, but I think the key is trying to at least improve. I'll never love her the way she not that she needs, but I'll never be a affectionate words of affirmation like guru, but I try to get better. I'm getting better slowly, hopefully.
Serious question, Razi.
Better.
Razi, has anyone ever taught you how to eat fried chicken?
No.
I mean,
I wasn't finished though. I got sidetracked. So I will
you're
finish
not done.
I'm not done.
Okay.
Yeah, So anyway.
What about you, Razi?
So
Jennica's?
I don't know if I can say all of the above, but Jennica, I think, is definitely touch. And it's weird because she's gifts, and I'm not a gifter at all. And not necessarily because I'm cheap. I will spend money, but the act of going out, looking for something, picking it, wrapping it, giving it, all of that is not me. I'll give you $50 and be like, go get what you want, like
a whole $50
or whatever. You know what I mean?
You not hear what I just said?
Don't spend it all in one place.
Go crazy.
I'm talking about as a random gift, not like an actual gift, but but like I will like go get whatever you want, but it's not like going through the act of going and get a gift. It's just outside of the realm of where I think, like you were talking about, that's what she expects, and I it's hard for me to give it. So I do try to go and do that when I know she wants something, and I'll try to make a big deal. But I'm super not. I'm not romantic either. So as you guys can see, I don't think through things very well. Right. So
you put your foot in your mouth.
Yeah, I put my foot in my mouth a lot. I'm not romantic, so even the act of gifting the gift is hard for me. Like I'll just be like, here you go. Like even proposing to her, it's my proposal story is even horrible, right? So like that, and all right, I'll go ahead and get it. So
I'm bracing myself.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
It's not bad. You don't know it, Larry?
It's just different.
You know it, don't you?
I don't think I do.
Oh, okay. So it's different, but so I bought the ring, and again, Jenica's like a homebody. She's very introverted, and so she doesn't like attention on her. So, and I actually took that into consideration when I proposed. So I was going to do it at home. And what I did is I drugged her. So no, I'm just playing. Well, I kind of did, but so I take sleeping pills to sleep. That and what ended up happening was. One night, I was like, I took my sleeping pill, and she was really tired from the week or whatever, and I was like, hey, do you want a sleeping pill too? With like the idea of, okay, I'm gonna work this plan that I got in my head. So she's like, sure. She takes a sleeping pill, so now she's like super knocked out. I act like I take mine, I don't. And so I had given her a promise ring. So while she was asleep, I slid the promise ring off, and I slid the ring on her finger. And so when she woke up for like an hour, she's just kind of going about her day because, it's a ring on her finger. She doesn't really think about it. And then I guess she gets up to like actually wash her hands or something. And she looks down and she sees a new ring. And she's like, oh, it's a new ring. And then she looks at me and says, is this my wedding ring? And I was like, if you'll have me, yes. Will you marry me? And so like she's like, yes. So that was how I proposed to her. So it's not your traditional get on the knee, that type of thing, but it was my way of trying to be romantic. And it was so bad that I actually took her to Paris for our 5-year and re-proposed to her because of the horrible proposal that I had. I just told everybody about my horrible proposal. And she comes back in with alcohol.
And you drugged her.
I did drug her, but it was... You didn't know Razi was trash like that anymore.
Wow. Can you come to the mic and say that?
Two things.
His wife just said he was trash, by the way.
One, we need a poll question. Was Razio's proposal romantic? And two, how old were you when you gave her a promise ring?
I was what, 27, 8?
You was buying promise rings at 27?
No, it wasn't a promise ring. She wanted a ring.
Really?
And so I ended up. You had a ring on your finger. Yes, why did I ask you for that?
Razi said he bought you a promise ring when he was 27. So I just was trying to figure it out.
He's telling lies. But he bought a ring, but I didn't ask for it. It was his choice.
You liked the ring.
Yeah, you perfect.
Damn it, Razi.
Razi, go ahead on with your question, bro.
Anyway, all right.
Welcome back, everybody.
Yeah, sure.
As you guys see, I am horrible at this love language thing. So, anyway. Oh, we got some Alizé.
Do you see what this boy walked in the door?
I just came home.
No, do not do that. No, don't do that. That does not reflect properly on me. I have done with due diligence everything to bring him to 2019.
My man did a great job. That was on the show a few episodes ago.
Like Morris.
Just walked in the door with some Hennessy and Alizé. That's right.
Hey, what you making tonight?
You gotta get some too.
Good pass. Oh man. Hey man, let's pop this bottle. Let's do it.
All right. I'll ask my question while y'all get into that.
Yeah. Let's share everybody's
I do love you.
All right. So my question, since we have our spouses in the room, is
you should stay away from
Anything related to spouses right now.
But no, I want to hear it now.
You're on the verge of divorce.
We're gonna edit that out too.
I know.
This podcast is ruining lives.
It is. It's ruining lives, guys. Y'all see what we do for y'all.
About Jennica, a promise ring. It was 27.
Well, he promised himself Jennica went with it. She didn't even know.
She didn't know it was a promise ring.
So who you?
It wasn't a promise ring. She wore it on her ring finger. So that's why I call it a promise ring.
I gotta stop giving Razi a hard time.
Look,
He's giving himself a hard time.
Tab taking up for Razi.
Yeah.
Razi's her favorite anyway.
Look,
So
we've known since high school that I have no common sense, right? I have no common sense.
that is true.
Yes. So all this stuff, I am socially awkward. Just is what it is. Anyway, so for my question, would you fellas be house husbands? And for the ladies, would y'all let us be house husbands? I want to hear your responses on that.
I wouldn't enjoy that. No.
That's your answer? Short and sweet. Why not?
Even when I just the thought of staying home all day, making sure everything clean and cook, I'm good. Yeah, I want to get out and be around people and stuff. So that's not for me.
What about you, Ferg?
I don't think so, man. I like to contribute. I like to.
You say housewives don't contribute?
Get him!
Are we done? I like to contribute financially and stuff like that. I'm very big on, and in mine more so is because I have this financial goal for the house, and it's being able to help get to that quicker.
No, I understand that. I'm saying if Z was making that financial goal, she has a business idea, a new invention, and it takes off. Y'all make $1 million tomorrow because of it. She's going to continue down that road through that. You have the ability to be a stay-at-home husband. Finances out of the way. Could you do it?
Are the kids there?
Yeah, the kids still live. I'm talking as of next year. Next year, all of a sudden, ZZ hits a big.
Let's claim it.
I still want to help push the envelope. If we got a boost, I still want to push that envelope. Now we can reach this goal that much faster. Now, if she lands this multi-million-dollar, trillion-dollar deal, and mine.
My man Slim want to answer this question.
Y'all tripping. I'm gonna stay at the house. I'm gonna cook. I'm gonna clean. I'm gonna get high. I'm gonna get drunk. And when they get home, be towed up. Now, how you gonna do all that if you high and drunk? I do it on my vacation.
But what about the kids? You say when they get home, the kids at the house with you.
Well, they gotta go to school though. So from 8 to 3.
I'm a functioning addict. I can do this.
Okay.
Oh Lord. I don't know.
I'm with it.
I think Razi will do it.
Maybe I was one to push that envelope.
Okay, and this is Sherman. Back to the question that you asked about being a house husband. I just wanted to bring a little bit of a different perspective. We spoke about it a few weeks ago, and so most of you know that I did almost 17 years in prison, and so then reintegrating back into society wasn't all that easy, despite all of the things I did to prepare myself. Actually getting an undergraduate degree and getting all these different certifications. Still, when I came home, it was more so like, okay, you have this criminal history, and even though I've only been in trouble once and I only have the one offense, even still, it's about an offense. It's a very serious offense. And so that just scared employer after employer away. Like, I look great on paper. I interview well. But when I got to that point, whether it was either a background check or me just telling them during the interview, because I'm going to be as transparent as possible, or maybe even a second interview that, okay, this is my background. This is what we have to overcome, because I don't ever want to be an issue where it comes up later and costs me a job that I had. Now, all that being said, there was a time for some months where I couldn't find a job. And even when I was still with the halfway house, I was in the halfway house. And like I said, I've been preparing for this day for years and being diligent about preparing for this day, to where, I'm at the halfway house and I'm looking for jobs, and I can't get a job anywhere. And I know guys who literally were in my GED class who I helped to get their GED. They're coming in, they're getting jobs because they only have drug offenses. And I couldn't get a job. So when I actually transitioned from the halfway house to home in Jacksonville with my wife, I was lucky and blessed enough to have a supportive wife who was there and who always, just was encouraging and never discouraging to me. But that being said, there were a few months there where, I wasn't just sleeping on the couch doing nothing, watching TV all day, but I'm at home and she's getting up and going to work every day. And I'm having to watch my wife leave the house and go to work, and I'm sitting at home. And I kind of understand what, what Buck said and how Ferg feels about it, in that, that's just not what you want to do. If you're a man, and I don't mean to come off like, it's some masculine toxicity of any kind, but you want to contribute. You want to feel like you're holding down your home and your household, and you're supporting your wife and your kids if you have children. And to see your wife get up and leave and go to work every day and you can't contribute, that kind of takes something from you. That kind of hurts. But at the same time, to answer the question about would I mind being a house husband, I kind of feel like, because even in those moments, it's like, okay, I'm going to make sure this house is spick and span, that, my wife doesn't have to worry about cooking and what we're going to eat and all these other things, because I want to contribute in any way that I can. So if my wife did have just this 7, 8-figure, 9-figure job where she's making all this money, and it makes more sense for me to stay home, or whether that's to raise the kids or to raise the kids in the way we want to give them the education and the values and things that we want to, or whatever, then I think that's a little bit different than just being, Slim's version. Where we gonna just clean up and choke up. Or whatever. I think it's just what's better for the house. Would it be more of a contribution and more value to the home if you stayed at home? I mean, let's just say, and in fact, Tavares and I had this conversation before. We talked about the expense of daycare. So if daycare is costing $30,000 a year, and my job, and I have a menial job that only pays $20,000 a year, it may be better for me to stay home and raise my kids versus paying for daycare. And so anyway, this is a point I wanted to make to contribute to the conversation.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate it, cool. That actually, you said it better than I could, because that's where I wanted to go with this. But you also made me consider some things. I think hats off to the stay-at-home wives and mothers, or whatever you guys are called these days. We want to be politically correct, but
I'm not politically correct, by the way.
No, I'm talking about for me, because the thing about it is, a lot of times it's a decision because it's what's best for the house. It's me staying. My wife gets this crazy opportunity to take a job, but we might even have to move across the country, whatever the case may be. But me wanting to hold on to that masculinity or whatever, for whatever reason, is it taken away from my household? And I always want to be to the point, like, if the shoe was on the other foot and I asked her to do it, would she do? And so if I wouldn't do, if I wouldn't do the same thing, give her the same respect that I would expect her to give me, then I have a problem with myself. So if it was the best thing for our family, I would do it. off the top of my head, I wouldn't like. It's not my go-to, but if our family truly benefited from it, then hey, who am I to stand in our way? That's just me being selfish. So
for me, definitely yes. That is my goal, to be a house husband. I'm trying to get Jennica Kimberly off the ground so that she can, go do her thing. I say that, but I'm probably going to end up being the CEO of the company. She's going to be creative director doing her design thing. She doesn't want to do the business side of it. But if all of a sudden she met some person that was already in the field, or there was a company and they like, hey, we want to spin off Jennica Kimberly, and they're going to do the business side of it, and she's just going to be the creative director, and there is no place for me in Jennica Kimberly, then I'm cool with staying at the house, raising the kids, taking care of the house. That house is going to be spick and span. Food's going to be on the table. I'm going to learn to cook because I cook okay, but I'm going to do it a little bit better. But I'm cool with that because, like you said, Ferg, it's all about what makes sense for the house. And so I never want to discount what a stay-at-home parent is and how much they contribute to the family. And so I much rather would have a stay-at-home parent. We have that conversation. Jenica's in school now, and she's about to graduate, and we've talked about what that looks like after graduation. Does she go get a job? Does she come back and run Jennica Kimberly but still stay at home and do kind of part-time on Jennica Kimberly, or do something that she can do from home but still at 3:00 she's there when the kids get out of school and that type of thing. So it's a conversation, a holistic conversation that you got to have. But if she's making all the money and we still want that for our kids, that somebody's there at 2:00, I'm cool with walking away from Compass Bank or BBVA and being that person to be at the house to pick up the kids at 3:00, to take them to all their stuff, to go to gymnastics, do all that stuff, and let her run that as long as the finances are right.
So does insecurity ever come into play at all? You guys would be okay with that?
I think you have to have that conversation up front, though. If you know the type person you are, because in the world we live in, it's easy to tie finances with
security or being a man.
Yeah. And so it's not that. I honestly believe if my wife gets to the point, when she says all the time, she's like, I'm going to make more money than you. I believe her, because her aspirations, I play very safe. But I don't think that would change the dynamics of our household. Like, my wife chooses to let me to be the head of our household because of the faith she puts in me, not because of what I bring in. If your relationship is based off of who holds the purse strings, then yeah, that might be different, but I don't think it's an insecurity for that part. It would be some adjusting. I'm not going to lie. Like, it was like, man, I went from this and now she can do what she want to do, but that's life.
So you won't have no Martin and Gina moments?
No.
Martin's like, I'm the man.
I might be upset. I might not be upset, but like, but then I'll start thinking of how we can take that and run with it and take it to a whole other level. Like, okay, if you're doing this, if I know I'm doing this and you're doing this, oh yeah, we're good. Because I'm thinking about retirement and business opportunities and how we're gonna spend this money and flip it. So
and it's also personalities, right? I mean, there are some guys that's like, I'm cool with being a house husband and everything because they're not super driven. Like, I've got to be in corporate America. I'm trying to be the CEO and everything like that. They can do that. Versus somebody that has that mentality of, I want to be the CEO. I want to go to work. I want to be out there. That person isn't going to be able to be a house husband or, be a house spouse. Is that the PC word? I like that word. House spouse. House spouse. That's it. Yeah. So before we finish up, ladies, I want to hear from you guys on this. Would y'all let your husband be, because the same way we talked about, there's this kind of idea that men should be out working. I know a lot of ladies that's like, nah, my husband's not going to be sitting at the house, hanging out while I'm going to work. Would you pay the bills and everything? So pass it around.
This is Jennica.
Kimberly.
And I'm pretty cool with you being a housewife. Or no.
Took 2 seconds. This is that get back.
In our house, he already know every day I'm gonna come home and call him a housewife. Wow. And I might smack him with some money. That's just me. But no, I'm 100% cool with it. Like, it doesn't bother me at all. I'm like, whatever. Whoever makes my thing has always been somebody's gonna be there at 2:45 when my kids get out of school. Either me and you, or we hired a nanny, one of the two. So, and it's always been me. So if it's gonna turn into being you at some point, that doesn't bother me either. Just as long as somebody's there to get them.
Yes, you heard that.
Yeah.
Housewife.
She already smacks me on the ass. Like, why not?
You gotta stop that.
I'm sorry.
You gotta do something about that.
So you're definitely the one.
Exactly. Thank you. Hey, what's this podcast? We're gonna have intervention with you after this.
All right, so this is Sabrina, Ferg's wife, and I would be okay with Ferg being a house spouse, as Razi coined it. But I would only be willing to do it if it's something that Ferg is really happy with, you know. If that's not true to his nature, or if I feel like it'll possibly, I don't know, eat away at him in a certain degree, then I feel like it's not as important for him to be a house spouse, you know. I feel like to a certain extent, each of us has to be happy, you know, with who we are and our role in our own lives. So if that's not something that is a calling, then I don't think it will be right for our family.
That's why I rocks with you.
Yep.
Okay. Haley, you. Haley, you gonna have a house spouse? You gonna Haley, what's your major? Kinesiology. How much money you gonna make? You gonna have your house husband?
I don't know. No.
You gotta answer on the mic.
You gonna have a house husband?
Well, this is Tabitha. I kind of have to follow behind what Sabrina said a little bit. I'm 100% cool with it. I would prefer if he stayed home and did everything in the home. If I had the money to cover everything, the financial means to do everything myself, it wouldn't bother me. But
we can do that now. Move out the house and get a little condo. We can do that.
But I would want him to be happy with it. Like, I don't want any side comments or any type of attitude about it. I would want him to be 100% comfortable with staying home.
Would you ever hold it over his head?
Yeah, like if we get in an argument, you're like, shut your bro.
Difference. Like if we need the help and you're just choosing to stay home, then that's a problem for me. So in that case, I would probably hold it over his head. Like, you know, it's about time for you to find a job. I'm not about to be doing everything by myself. But in this situation to where we don't need it, you know, I get a promotion, I do whatever, and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna stay home. And it kind of like what Jennica said too, you know, now that Jasmine's getting older, I definitely want someone to be home when she gets off the bus.
With shotguns.
So thinking about that and just thinking about the household, it would be okay with me.
Nice.
I like Leanne. Nice, Erica Sherman's wife. I mean, Terrell. Y'all, he has a family name called Terrell. And I would like to comment that in relationships there are different seasons, and there may be a season where a husband may have to stay home and hold down that fort as the wife pursues the career, especially if her income would afford him the opportunity to hold down that fort. And so when you do that, it's just about exercising everything in the correct spirit, and that the wife is not being domineering and disrespectful or emasculating her husband. And a lot of times, you know, wives don't have the choice of if their husbands are going to be home or not, because, as you know, employment for African-American males is a lot lower than the mainstream population. And if you have a husband that is re-entering, finding employment, even if they're degreed, even if they're, you know, utilizing all 10 of their talents, then it can be difficult. So just give the husband a respect if that's something y'all don't choose to do. But if it's something that you all choose to do, just, you know, see how long that season has to last. And if it's something that the husband is comfortable with. Because I can say men do like to provide.
And that's why the changes when they are provided versus, if they're not able to. So,
cool. All right, quarterback, we doing one more round, or
let's hit another one.
So, I mean, how's the crowd feeling? Y'all want to keep going, or y'all?
All right. Another question.
So now, I don't even know how long we've been recording, but I'm having a blast.
It's right at about an hour, so we're
we're good. So,
can you tell who our favorite person is?
Shut up. Ask a question, Ferg. Who's your favorite?
Well,
so my wife can say somebody else's favorite.
Hey, I was saying proud.
She deserves it though. All the stuff we heard today from Razi.
Well, it's been fun. This is a rare occasion. We're going to do a 2-part episode. So if you're hearing this, we'll come to the close of our initial part of the episode. So please stay tuned. Listen to us again. 3 Brothers, No Sense. Remember the 6 rules of podcast. Hopefully I can remember them. Buff, what are they?
Even drinking. I know one of them is listen, comment, subscribe, share,
like,
and
listen again.
Most importantly, listen again.
Yeah.
All right, 3 Brothers, No Sense.